Alright, so I've been sitting on this video for a little bit and I finally decided to just sit down and do this and not worry too much about how it comes out, because majority of the time I worry about whether or not I'm being articulate enough. I try to say things without being too emotional or passionate about it. So, at the risk of being too emotional in this video, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to remain sitting, I've been sitting down, and just do this video. I'm still trying to workshop the title. I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet, but I am confident that you'll be able to understand the concept of this video just by reading the title alone. In case you don't, I hope you do by the time you finish watching this video. So, if you don't know, hi, my name is Esther. I'm based here in Australia. I am a content creator, as you can see, here on YouTube, Instagram, on social media. Basically, I'm in the beauty industry, in the beauty community, whatever that looks like, whatever that means these days. I'm a content creator who does product reviews, foundation tests, makeup tutorials, and with the job description of being a content creator, especially a beauty content creator and a product reviewer, that includes me, getting products to review and share with you, my fellow Australians, especially my fellow people of color, my fellow Black Australians would know the struggle of being a makeup enthusiast or a makeup wearer. With that being said, this is what we end up looking like if we use the product that brands create for people, not just in Australia, but worldwide. If we use the shades that they come out with in the name of inclusivity. So, should we start with primer, or let's just start? No, not primer, because primer mostly dissolves into the skin. Primer, depending on the kind of primer you use. There are primers where there's a white cast, mainly because of the texture or the ingredients in a primer. So let's start with sunscreen. Sunscreen is supposed to be used to protect you from sun, from the UV rays. Sunscreen has been developed right from time. It's been developed for many, many years. It is supposed to, when a lot of people apply sunscreen onto their face, it almost immediately disappears into their skin. But for us, people of color, brown skin, black skin, we know that that is almost impossible for us. As a Black person myself, it's taken me a long time to find a sunscreen that can actually dissolve into my skin without me having to sit there and rub it in. It's taken me a long time to find one, and I did find one. But the fact that I had to spend a long time, and I know this is not just myself, a lot of Black people like myself have had to spend a long time to find sunscreen that works for them. So why are we doing this? Why are brands producing these products without putting everyone in mind? If you're producing product that is supposed to be for everybody, why aren't you producing sunscreen that is supposed to be for everybody? Why are we only putting this responsibility on Black owned business or inclusive brands to produce these products for us? If you feel like our lives matter, if you feel like we mean something, we're worth something, why aren't you producing products, specifically this sunscreen, that can also dissolve into our skin just like how it would dissolve into a Caucasian skin? Foundation. As you know, foundation has also been around for many, many years, for many, many decades. Foundation is one of those products that a lot of companies in the past did not feel like Black people needed or people of color needed. The foundation is something that everyone feel like they need in their collection, because as the word says, foundation is supposed to provide a base for you to be able to apply your other makeup. It's supposed to give you a nice even coverage, so that way you can then proceed with the rest of your makeup. Once again, the question that I pose to Brian is, why are we producing these foundations with a name that is supposed to make us Black people or brown people to believe that this shade might be for us, but the moment you pump it out onto the palm of your hand or the back of your hand or your neck, you realize, wait a minute, the name of the shade and the shade itself does not coincide. So why are we doing this? Why are we advertising these shades with dishonesty? If you're not producing shades for us, why are you making it seem like it is for us? A brand specifically here in Australia is doing that right now. I'm gonna try not to mention too many brands or any brands at all in this video. As long as you can get the message, I've done my job. A brand specifically, you know what? Let me just say it. CoverGirl has brought out a new foundation now, which is called the Clean Fresh Milk something foundation. Great. The main shade that was released in the US itself comes in 13 shades. The shades that was brought here into Australia is 6 shades as of last week, as of yesterday as well. The main question I asked the CoverGirl Australia brand was, why are we bringing out 6 shades when this foundation comes in 13 shades? 13 shades that is still horrible, by the way. If you're gonna bring shades to Australia, if you're gonna bring a complexion shade to Australia, why are you only bringing a selected few? And then you'll have the audacity to say that the shades are adaptable What does that mean? What does adaptable mean? Please explain to me, because according to dictionary, adaptable means able to adjust to new conditions. So are you saying these 6 shades, 6 light shades with the deepest being 10 reach, is supposed to adapt to new conditions? Basically, if we, people of deeper skin tone, apply it onto our skin, it's supposed to adapt to our melanin, please. So this is what brands want us to look like when they come out with their complexion products. This is what they have in mind, or they don't even have in mind at all, because they're just bringing out these shades just to take a piss, just to say that yes, we're looking after them now. We've come out with a shade and slapped the name on it that's supposed to exude or basically like scream melanin. Meanwhile, when melanated people do apply it, it looks like we're trying to be of a different skin color. Concealer. Concealer was produced for the purpose of like hiding blemishes, masking dark circles, also highlighting, which a lot of us have started using that for, and also just concealing under the eyes and hiding blemishes in the areas where you do have it, like spots, like these spots that I have on my forehead. Whenever brands do come out with concealers, a lot of you, I'm sure a lot of people would have noticed that a lot of these products, a lot of the shades that comes in a concealer are problematic. They do not fit a lot of black, brown people of color. You come out with a concealer, just the same thing as a foundation, and you slap a name on it that's supposed to mean that, you know, it is for us people of color as well. Meanwhile, when we do apply, we end up walking around with a shade with a different cast on our faces. If we follow your recommendation, if we follow your advertisement, if we follow how you organize your campaign shoots to show that you do have products that is adaptable to many people, that is universal, and you're giving us advice and saying, you know, if you just apply a little bit, you'll still be able to have the highlighting feature on it. If we follow all those advices, this is how we're going to keep walking around the streets. This is what we're going to look like. You bring out a product and you name it something that's supposed to scream for black people, for people of color, for brown people, and you name it cappuccino, almond, rich, tan rich, nutmeg, but you don't match the actual shade to the name. That is just being dishonest. And that is, once again, for the lack of a better term, taking a piss. I mean, I do appreciate the fact that you feel like black people, brown people are rich in melanin already and we don't need makeup. Please, you're not the one to decide that we don't need makeup. We get to decide that for ourselves. We all know we don't need makeup, but we get to decide that for ourselves. Thank you very much. And you shouldn't just go in with that narrative that black people, brown people don't need makeup anyway, or they don't buy makeup because they're already rich in melanin, you know, they already look beautiful as it is. That is a cop-out. Stop going with that narrative, please. Setting powder. You know, after we've concealed our blemishes and we have highlighted, we've also concealed our under eye area, our dark spots. We're meant to set it with a powder, especially under eyes. But you come out with powder and you release 2 shades of that powder, and it is supposed to also be for black people. Please make it make sense. Is this for people of color? I'm dying. Powders that we use, and we take a photo and we look like Casper the Ghost. Casper the Ghost is beautiful and everything, but not everyone wants to look like that when they go out or when they take pictures. Can we stop bringing out product and claiming it to be adaptable to every skin tone? Meanwhile, you're not considering the fact that when we take pictures with these kind of shades, we actually don't look like ourselves. Are you trying to encourage us not to look like ourselves and saying that, oh, black and brown people cannot look, they don't deserve to look their best, but those with lighter skin tones, Caucasian people, do deserve to look their best even more? And please, before you come to me and say that, oh, if you don't like it, then create your own brand, I don't even have anything to say to that. But I will say this. I do understand that it is that we can create our own table when they're not creating a table for us. But at the end of the day, why do we have to do that when these brands are using us to gain recognition, to gain clout, to further their business, their capital, but they're not catering to us? Why do each and every one of us have to create our own lane just because they're not looking after us? We all have rights. We're all human beings on this planet. No matter what country we're in, we're all human and we should all be treated equal, and that includes in this beauty industry. If you're bringing out a product and you're saying you're going to, you know, easy beauty, breezy beautiful, this is going to beautify you, this is going to conceal your spots, are you only marketing it to Caucasian people? or are you marketing it to everybody? And a lot of the time in your campaigns, you use words that's supposed to mean that this applies to everyone, even though the models you use don't show that inclusivity. You use words that makes us feel like we can go into the store and get these products. Bronzer basically is supposed to like add more warmth to the face. More contour is meant to define your face. So we're not going to contour today, we're going to bronze, because a lot of these brands come out with bronzers that is supposed to be for everybody. But then when they come out with these bronzers, they come out with a few shades that is supposed to apply to Caucasian skin, and then the shades that is supposed to apply to black, brown, melanated skin, they come out with 1 or 2 shades, and it just seems like they just selected a Pantone color that is supposed to suit a black person. Meanwhile, it is literally this. One bronzer shade is not universal to every melanated skin tone. No, just because you created a shade or 1 or 2 shades that is supposed to be applicable to black and brown skin tone doesn't mean that it is going to suit every skin tone. Are you giving us different options? Are you actually considering our skin tone? Are you considering undertones? Are you considering what the bronzer would look like on us if we're to use it in light? Are you considering the after effect of it? Are you considering us at all when you're creating this, or are you just selecting colors and just slap a name on it, such as Rich Espresso, and you say, okay, this is for you. We're now inclusive. We've catered to you. If that is what you're doing, it's not working. Highlighters. I don't even need to describe what this is supposed to be used for, and just say, if you're creating a highlighter and you're coming out with shades like this, just because a highlighter has a yellow base or yellow tint or looks gold doesn't mean that it applies to all black and brown people. Doesn't mean that your job is done. It does not. It just means that you're now pandering. Eyeshadow. Producing eyeshadow shades that does not apply to melanin skin, that does not apply to black skin, brown skin, is not a way to be inclusive. Just because you produced a palette that has a few gray shades with a brown undertone that is supposed to be adaptable doesn't mean your job is done. I know there are lots of black people and brown people that find it hard to make an eyeshadow pop on their skin. That a lot of content creators felt the need to create a video explaining how you can make eyeshadow pop, which we shouldn't have to do. We shouldn't have to be doing that. We should all just feel like we can go into a store and be confident that whatever eyeshadow palettes or products we pick up is going to work for us without feeling the need to apply a very light concealer just to make the color pop. I mean, I understand I might be a bit irrational or expecting too much and say, oh, come on, that is just, that's unfair. I get it. Not all eyeshadow colors are meant to pop on brown skin and melanin skin. But did you hear that? Not all eyeshadow colors are meant to pop on brown skin. Why is that? Because a lot of the eyeshadow colors you're putting in your palettes don't suit us. And because you're going with that narrative that not all colors are meant to pop on melanin skin, you're just not even trying. Because historically, you can see that a lot of colors look really good on us. If you actually put in the effort and create alternatives and create products with us in mind, we wouldn't have to be walking around with an ashy eyeshadow shade. Lipstick. You create a lipstick line and name it a nude collection. But when we apply that nude collection on our lips, it is obvious that when you say nude, you don't have us in mind. This is actually not bad, but you get the gist. Do I look beautiful? I know I am beautiful, but do I look beautiful? This is what majority of us would look like if we didn't have content creators on YouTube or on social media that are providing tips on how to make things work for our skin tone, which once again, we shouldn't have to be doing, but we are at that point. And it is 2020 and we're still discussing inclusivity. And for those who like to say it all the time that, oh, if you don't like it, go back to where you came from. I'm waiting for you to do the same thing because you're my inspiration. So here we are. That's all I've got to say. I hope I do edit this video and put it up. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this whole industry. The fact that we're still having this conversation, especially for my babes, my FamBams here in Australia. I know majority of you babes are in the US and the UK, but I do have a few people here in Australia as well, especially on Instagram. And we all discuss this in my DMs all the time. The fact that we're still having to discuss this is the main issue. And we know that Australia is a multicultural country who values itself in the fact that it's a multicultural, culturally diverse country. If it is that, then everything that is being produced and manufactured or being promoted here in Australia should cater to the wide range of people that are here. And that includes the fashion industry, beauty industry, everything. Your campaign, your TV, your news, everything should exude that Australia is a multicultural country or culturally diverse country. Anyway, enough said. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. My name is Esther J. MsTopacJay. Whatever doing to love yourself, and I'll see you in my very next video. By God's grace. Bye. You see that difference? That's my point.